Good afternoon. Thank you for joining my presentation, our presentation. I'm going to talk you through some thoughts about what technology will lead the way. I'm René, for difficult to pronounce last name. I'm from the Netherlands. Publishing agency is also located in the Netherlands, but we cover developments globally, worldwide. So, just a few words about myself. Well, automation, robotics is what I always call my guilty pleasure. I have a background in farm machinery manufacturers. I studied at the Dutch Wageningen University, graduated a long time ago, and I said I have a guilty pleasure for robotics and automation, but we always try to approach it from a practical point of view. So, I mean, you can develop robots, but they have to work in a farming environment. So, with all due respects to all the startups that are here and that are not here, working in farming is totally different than working in an industrialized environment. So what do? We have a magazine as well. I brought a copy as well, Future Farming magazine. But we tend to go online more and more, since shipping, let's say, 20 to 25,000 copies of such a magazine globally is not the most cost-effective and most sustainable way, so we try to bring it online more and more. Means we can bring it faster. I just saw someone in the audience showing this table. It was in our last magazine. It is also online. And what we do, we have a couple of buyer guides. One of the buyer's guides is on robots, field robots and harvest robots. We use different categories. And we approach basically every manufacturer that is in the robotic scene, farm robotics. So we published a catalog online. There's two requirements. Your robot, or the robot, has to be available commercially, so farmers actually have to be able to obtain it. And we want a price indication, because if you're interested, as a farmer or as a contractor, you want to know what you get for what kind of price, and whether that's a sales price, as a service price, a pay-per-use price, as long as we have a price indication. So we're currently approaching all the manufacturers across the world again to update the catalog online. We did the same thing last year, and we always ask the manufacturers about their numbers of robots in operation. So we keep track of those numbers and, well, try to at least combine some statistics. There's no official statistics yet on robots, nowhere in the world as far as I know of it, not, at least not field robots, so not for open field crop production. So what we do is we look to the numbers we had in last year and the year before, and we saw that last year compared to 2022, we had an increase of robots in operation of 73%. And that's the 60 robots in the catalog, so just those 60, not the other ones. The year before we had an increase of 55%, and I think in 5 or 6 years that we are doing that, we saw a very big increase in the numbers of robots in operation. And that's robots in operation globally. So it's Burrow, it's Swarm Farm, it's Gus, it's the Dutch ones, NIO, every commercial field or harvesting robot for open field production is what we aim to have in, which should build a very valuable resource for not only people in the industry, but also farmers looking for a field robot. My title of the presentation was What Technology Will Lead the Way. We had a webinar recently in my home country, the Netherlands. And when we talk about autonomous tractors, we see that it's limited available regionally here and there. Monarch is, for instance, an example. John Deere with the 8R. Is there anyone in the audience who knows about the exact legislation for autonomous tractors in the US or anywhere else in the world? Because that remains to be, let's say, a challenging topic. I get asked about it quite a lot, and I actually always avoid answering that question because I simply don't know. It differs from continent to continent, from region to region. I've also been told there's the difference in legislation for field robots, so the smaller ones and the bigger tractors. Maybe because the bigger tractors can build a bigger hazard when approaching people. There's also autonomous retrofit kits. I'm sure you've seen Blue White, you've seen Sabanto over here. There's more. There's about 7 to 8 to 9 farm access here as a newcomer as well. So that would be 8 to 10 retrofit kits, and with the retrofit kit, I mean it's technology like autosteer previously. You can make any vehicle autonomous. That's what we see as a retrofit kit. Currently, across the world, there is prices ranging from $27,000 to about $70,000, so that's a huge difference. And basically, the technology all does the same. There's some slight details in the difference. For instance, how slow can they drive autonomous? How fast can they drive? So slow would be interesting for planting, vegetable planting, for instance. Fast would be interesting for driving or transportation, maybe even. Benefits when you look to autonomous tractors and those retrofit kits, I would say it's relatively affordable. I mean, 27,000 to 70,000 is a big difference, but it's relatively affordable compared to a new tractor. And autonomous tractors have a big advantage, as the most you can still hop on and move it from field to field on public roads, where you still can't use your autonomous vehicle. And, well, that's basically a similar benefit. You can use it as a normal tractor. So if you don't need the autonomous features, you can hop on and do the plowing or the planting yourself if you like. So we differentiate robots in multifunctional field robots and specialized field robots. Multifunctional or multipurpose can do multiple tasks. And well, they have actually been developed to take over tasks from manned and unmanned tractors. So there would be soil preparation, there would be spraying, there would be fertilizer spreading, mowing, planting, as in this case on the image, the AMOS. And one of the manufacturers over here, put the Swiss Army knife forward as a multifunctional tool, and I think those multifunctional real field robots also are like a Swiss Army knife. They can really do what a normal tractor can also do. But then again, differing from country to country, there's legal aspects, there's liability aspects. So there's a hurdle there as well in some regions, some continents. Benefits, they're relatively lightweight, often equipped with tracks, which means a limited soil pressure, limited soil contact, which is gaining an interest in farmers. They want to prevent their soil because it's their main input for producing. I think a train is about to pass. And what we see is that about half of the multifunctional robots in our catalog are battery powered. So from a sustainable point of view, not only from a soil compaction point of view, you see a really interesting development. And if we include new robots, we see that they are mostly battery powered. So I think that's a good development as well. We do multiple buyer's guides. I took a screenshot of the website last week. We do buyer's guides on field robots. We do buyer's guides on autonomous tractors, autonomous retrofit kits, autosteer drones and smart weeders. And by smart weeders, we mean the Stout, we mean the Verdant, we mean the carbon robotics. So basically any 3-point AI-supported weeding implement, which is also a growing category on the website. Back to the field robots, we do 3 categories, or maybe 4. We have the multipurpose, which I talked about, the specialized harvesting robots, a very interesting development. I don't know if people in the audience have been to the advanced farm demo. Apple picking, really catching up that kind of development. The robot pictured is a Dutch development for asparagus cutting. So they have developed an algorithm and tools to go into the ridge, pick the the asparagus and transport it. And we also have a category for robots that are already retired, because there's already retiring, robots are already retiring, and also robots from companies that don't want to reveal their pricing. So we try to distinguish. A few of the autonomous retrofit kits. There's a French one on top. Well, blue-white should be familiar in this surrounding. We have a German one, brown. We have a Polish one, GoTrack. And then left, it's GPX, which is a Dutch solution. And there's the Sabanta, which is also demoing over here. And also with this overview, we want to build a valuable resource for farmers to make that choice with the specifications, the pricing, and not just the PR from the manufacturer, but the real benefits and real drawbacks. Smart weeders I talked about, some are here, some aren't here, and they do weeding mechanically, laser, spot spraying, whatever, as long as it's an implement and it's not a robot. So before I already come to a conclusion, I would like to also put forward that we try to tell the farmer story. So we visit farmers across the world. Luckily, I'm not the only one working for Future Farming, so there's colleagues in Australia and the US, anywhere in the world, visiting farmers and telling the true story, because we all know the PR story. It works perfectly in all circumstances. Well, you know that's not true. It's the same with the tractor. It's the same with the car. There's always hiccups and things that don't work as expected yet. So we're telling that story as well, in writing, in videos, from across the globe, telling the real story about what robots bring to farmers and why we still have some challenges to solve. If there is manufacturers in the room of field robots or also of other solutions, we are currently approaching all the manufacturers to update our catalog, update the prices, update the statistics on the numbers of machinery in operation. And I just put it here in case there's someone in the room or you know someone who might be interested. Don't hesitate to approach us either via the email or go on the website. And if I'm not wrong, that would be my last slide. Thank you for being here. Are there any questions? Something I should highlight or answer a question? Yeah.
With a lot of camera companies being around, are you going to start a data capture category? Are you thinking of that, or any thoughts on that?
I saw you. Well, the light is a bit different, but I saw you. So we spoke early today. Good idea. And let me answer that like this. We want, if you're buying a car and you look in a catalog, you're not looking for one or two cars. You want to have more. So we don't have a certain minimum amount of similar technology, but we would like to have multiple in. So farmers have a choice and contractors have a choice. That doesn't mean that we're not interested in your technology. I know we spoke and it's very interesting. So we did a customer story in New Zealand, as I mentioned to you. Pernod Ricard, I think, a big wine grower. They run 19 smart machine oxen robots, big track ones, and there's at least a couple with your sensors on, if I'm correct, right? So from the farm report, we're there already. Thanks for the tip. And well, just as an indication, if there's 4 or 5 or so similar solutions, then we'd happy to take that category on the website as well. Thanks for the question. Any other questions or remarks from the
We still
room?
have a solid 5 minutes. Don't be shy.
Well, I'm not a stand-up comedian, so I'm not going to fill the 5 minutes if there's not any questions or remarks. So. Yeah, that depends a bit on the number of units or companies in every category. We now see if it's specialized, there's a lot in weeding, either mechanical weeding or another type of weeding. harvesting is very interesting because we don't limit to any crop. So we have asparagus, we have grapes, we will add the apple one, which is very diverse. And the multi-purpose depends. Some can, let's say, sow and hoe. Well, that even rhymes. And some can do more. They are like a tractor. So depends a bit on how we develop and how many companies and how many robots we have in. We might split up indeed to make a better difference and a better comparison.
Yeah, I think I was thinking about the specialized. Like, for example, holiday, specialization and purpose, which should be something that, say, one unit does a lot of things, right? So what is the, I think you already answered, like, having this bunch of units would be something that you consider to add a new category in the website. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that should be, let's say, an organic process in that sense that when there's more robots working on the same task, we could split up that specialized category, for instance. That could be an idea. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the question. Any other remarks or questions? Thanks for your attention. Have a look on the website, futurefarming.com, if you like. Tell us what you think, and thank you for joining, and have a great rest of the FIRA. Thanks.